Ugh. How's it going, everybody? What's going on? I wanted to come on for a few minutes just to talk about what's been happening. Got some cough drops. Got some chicken. Oh man, so I'm a little sniffly, but that's okay. Winter storm approaching Texas. Be safe out there too. Gosh, it's gonna affect everyone tomorrow. I might go live tomorrow as well. But let's just talk about some of the things going on. Let's see. Head coaching vacancies. We have a few already. Antonio Pierce with the Raiders fired. Doug Pearson with the Jaguars fired. Gerard Mayo, one season they didn't even want him. He was fired for the Patriots. So uh, let's first off talk about what it's like to be fired. There's this article from ESPN talking about coaches share what they learned after getting fired. ESPN.com. Starts out saying an impromptu date, a call to mom, a depressing trip to Hawaii. An AFL coach gets fired. What happens next? It's talking about in-season firings. Very rare between 1990 and 2007. Only one season in which three head coaches lost their jobs before the end of the schedule. Since 2008, there have been nine, including the last three, where three head coaches lost their job in season. Yeah. Of course, who lost their job in season? Jets, Bears, and who else? Who else? Jets, Bears, and who else fired uh, head coach? Let's see. Oh yeah, him just because he was so forgettable, I guess. This season. Oh, it even says right there. Jets fired Robert Sala after 5 games, and now the Jets are just deteriorating. I don't know what to do about the Jets, guys. I really don't. Find a GM. They fired their GM too. Find a GM you like. That owner. It's just things coming out about him wanting to be super hands on. It's not great, but just find someone. Let me adjust my camera slightly, just slightly. Still wearing some Christmas pajamas, but that's okay. I wear them all year long. They're very comfortable. They're my most comfortable pajamas. Find a good GM, a good head coach that wants to be with the Jets. I know Rex Ryan wants to possibly. I think I've been hearing rumors. Possibly wants to come back to the Jets. Get a brand new quarterback and offensive lineman. You have some weapons and really develop them, and you can have a good season. You can have what not necessarily what the Texans are having because the Texans are really hurt. You could try to replicate what Detroit is doing, just up and up and up every year. They of course have an established quarterback that in Jared Goff that wanted to go up, wanted to go back to the Super Bowl. But yeah, Jets fired Robert Sala. Let me see. Um, I mean, a lot of my uh fixes for teams for the draft are just go get a guy and then get an offensive lineman, go get a running back, and then get an offensive line, help him out. All in the first round, go all in. But 49ers had to trade 3 first round picks, just move up 9 spots. So I don't know how. I don't know. Like the Jets are so far down, they could definitely get a new lineman just first round. But to trade up from your second rounder to another first rounder to get someone, and then even trade up that first one to get a quarterback, I don't know. They might need to though. I mean, I might have been Aaron Rodgers' last game. Fortunately, it was a win. And he crossed 500 touchdowns. Dennis Allen, I don't know what to do with the Saints. They're pretty good. They were on fire. They were fire first few weeks, and then they fell off because of injuries. So offensive line help. I don't know. How good is the Saints offensive line? Grading Saints offensive line. I think more emphasis is now getting on the offensive line. Ranked 31st. Okay, so they're really bad. Injuries. Only played together. Their entire body only played together 6 games. Injuries from McCoy and Patrick kept the line from finishing intact. Okay. Caesar Ruiz is not ranked among the top 50 guards in any of his 4 seasons. Okay, so maybe get a new guard. Mm. You might not need to get some people, but you're definitely going to get the right head coach to instill um that culture, that winning culture. So good luck on all that. That's gonna be interesting. You're not a bad team, and you have an established quarterback. Mm. Who believe in and traded and got went out and got from the Raiders. Actually, I think the Raiders dumped him and then they picked him up. But I mean, you have your guy you quote unquote believe in, so you just need a coach. A lot of teams need a quarterback guy, man. So guys, people. So at least you don't need that. Quarterbacks go really, really quick if you need one, really, really quick. If they're good, they go quick. If they're not there, Kenny Pickett in the first round. No offense to him, just he went like there were no quarterbacks taken in that draft. He went solo. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. Chicago Bears. So yeah, that was an albatross hanging around their neck like a chain. Not one of those cool chains. That's the that people wear out on the football field on football games because they're probably like really light, for play. This is an actual chain, albatross. This was he was weighing you down. And now with Caleb Williams, I can see why some people would want the Bears job. You have a new quarterback you can play with, and you have some good people and look toward the draft. But I can see why people would not want that job too. So good luck with them. Patriots fired Gerard Mayo. Yeah, I think they did. Rumors are that they just wanted Mike Vrabel. So, I mean, in the contract, uh, he got his job, Gerard Mayo, inside linebackers coach. That was his only coaching experience. Bumped up to head coach, but fired after 1 season, which means his record was not very good, and he had a brand new quarterback. And there's lots of reasons why the team itself didn't do well. But I'm not sure if he's gonna just automatically get another head coaching job. They didn't even interview anyone last year. They just it was in the contract that he would get it. So I mean that could be his only chance to be a head coach. I don't know. He's gonna have to work his way up to coordinator. So he hasn't been a coordinator, so he has nothing to fall back on except for linebackers coach for 4 years. So now he can go back to linebacker. When you have things to fall back on, that's when you're like, okay, this is an easier job to get. And now linebackers coach would be an easier job to get. If people didn't think he was a good head coach, they're not going to look at him to be a coordinator. But good luck. I'm sure it's okay. So people share their experience. Raheem Morris. 3 days after a losing streak in 2011, Bucks fired Morris. He answered a call from his friend, oh, to see if they wanted to get a beer together. He said, "Yep, absolutely." It was all over the news. Oh, geez, the outing. Oh, geez, man. Yeah. So being fired isn't always fun. Well, it's never fun. Like even Doug Pearson was fired. Um, Yeah, those are just the in-season coaches. Doug Peterson was fired after I think it was 3 seasons. They had such high hopes. Yeah, I'm sure it's like I won a Super Bowl with the Eagles. They fired me, and now the Jags have fired me. What's going on? What can I do to improve my situation? So it's not always going to be fun. It's it's rough. My McCarthy was out of coaching for a whole year before we picked him up, and I'm sure he was glad to get that job. Oh my gosh. So let's see. Coaching tracker. Let's see the coaching tracker. Um, Raiders. Tom Brady reached out to Bill Belichick recently, the Raiders head coach. Raiders fired head coach Antonio Pierce after one season. They don't need to reach out to Bill. He's going to be fine. He's going to be happy in college, taking a year, two or three, even to coach North Carolina. They had a national champion coach, UT's old coach, Mac Brown, and now they have Bill Belichick, Super Bowl champion. So, hey, that's good for them. Bill doesn't want to come back, though. Maybe he wants to come back to beat the record, but hey, maybe he's not Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers, he came back for that last game. He broke his record, 500 touchdowns. He has 503 now. So, hey, you got all those MVPs and got the records. You can retire now, right? Unless you truly do want to be more team oriented and try to win another Super Bowl like Peyton Manning. But even then, is it just like I want to come back so I can retire just like Peyton Manning did and look like I'm the greatest thing ever and get that one trophy because that's slap that on your Wikipedia page. You have two trophies and two teams. Not everyone's Peyton Manning, guys. Not everyone's Peyton Manning. Retire on top. That was a gruesome. That was a learning experience for him in Denver. 3 seasons. Wow. There weren't all winners. Sure, it's rough to go against Tom Brady too, and to even get to the Super Bowl. Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, they denied. We denied the Chicago Bears. We, as in the Dallas Cowboys. Not that I'm in the organization, but as a fan, we denied Mike McCarthy the chance to interview with them, even though we said, yeah, whatever, they can do whatever they want. Yeah, that's the rhetoric coming from Jerry Jones. The real thing, the real stuff is happening in the office. The official denials, the request. He's under contract for the next week, 14th. That's 6 days away. Oh, what could be happening? Maybe the fan base. Maybe Jerry Jones thinks the fan base wants to just go out and get Mike McCarthy and say, get him out of here. Or maybe he realized the fan base has tempered a little bit. Because what I'm hearing is like, oh, whatever, bring back McCarthy. Even my last video was like, do whatever you want with Mike McCarthy, but I think Al Harris should be promoted to defensive coordinator. So I think we'll hear more of that sentiment, like Mike McCarthy might be inevitable, and maybe he's like saying, "Hey, he's under contract. We're not even gonna let anyone interview him because we just kind of want the fan base to settle down. Like, they were settled down pretty much, and they're mad and everything, but they're not like pitchforks. He wants them to settle down even further, so that he can potentially bring back Mike McCarthy. People can get used to it. This isn't a uh, situation with Jason Garrett, in which it was like 2, 3 days went past. Stories about Jason Garrett meeting with Jerry Jones, saying he wanted to keep his job. 8-8, that whole stereotype, the clapper, all that stuff. He took over in 2010, and then that's some good seasons. 14 was a good season. 16 was a good season. Unfortunately, didn't produce significant playoff wins or Super Bowls, and that's really what we want to get. Especially after that 2010 season, I felt that they were really going hard. DeMarco Murray was a great running back. Zeke was a great running back. They were trying to get, and they're trying. The Morris Claiborne was not a good corner, but they were trying to replicate even back in 2010 he was 2012. They were trying to replicate that Super Bowl winning mentality with a good corner like Dion, with a running back, with a good receiver. I mean, had Miles Austin, other people later on down the line. I could tell that's what they were trying to do. And then 2013, they get that center. I think it was 2013. They're trying to replicate that. 2014, everything looks a lot better. 15, your offensive line is looking better, but Romo gets hurt, unfortunately. Then 16, you turn your third string quarterback, and it works out kind of. So I see they were with the kind of team that they were trying to build around Romo. He's starting, 6-7, oh 07, and then they're trying to get people around him. But then there was like a new era after like 2012, 13, 14. So crazy. I want to try one of these. These are pretty good. My friend's mom gave them to me. Yeah. Nice. I still have some for tomorrow. Winter storm coming. Anyway, yeah. Those are my thoughts. Unprompted, no notes about Mike McCarthy. I think they might be wanting just to have the fan base simmer down entirely, and then come back in a week, say, oh, he can't interview within jobs, and then when all the coaching vacancies are done, people are like, well, I guess you might as well stay here with us, and everyone will just accept it. That's what they want. They just want us to all accept it. So yeah, how's everybody doing? What's going on? Welcome. So yeah, I think that's what's going on there. Titans. The GM is out. Brian Callahan will remain. Yeah, the Titans. It's not their fault. The Titans. They have Will Levis, a backup quarterback. They have Mason Rudolph, a backup quarterback. Mason's probably not that bad. He was with the Steelers. He played in that playoff game. He replaced Kenny Pickett when Pickett got hurt. And he went and played that playoff game against, I think, the Bills last year and just lost. But, he's a backup. What are you going to do? Will Levis, he's a backup. What are you going to do? So, So yeah, in terms of the Titans, I don't think the Titans head coach needed to be fired, so that's good. There's no real reason for him. It's just there's no real reason. Um, I mean, it's just not just not good enough. Now they can get a new quarterback if they want because they have the number one pick, Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, I mean they fired Doug Peterson. Such high hopes. Trevor Lawrence signs a new deal. They're trying to get a brand new stadium. They want to get up and going. You know, I don't know how big a market Jacksonville is. Dallas is a huge city with a big market, so I don't know. Mm. Trevor Lawrence has been hurt a little bit. Mac Jones had to step in. Even then, it's a big mess. So yeah, I guess it's time to move on from him. And of course, the Patriots, they didn't want him in the first place, so they fired him after a year. But he got head coaching experience, so he can put that on his roster. Saints, I mean, if it wasn't even this season. It was just it wasn't working out. It wasn't working out. So Jeremy Rizzi finished the campaigns, the 2024 campaign 5-12. Oh yeah, I mean they just need to hope they hit in the draft, and they can just people can come back and get healthy again. Not all his fault, but probably Dennis Allen was fired because of the last few seasons, and not because necessarily this one. But it sucks. Yeah, Jets. They just need to start all over. Don't know what to do with that. And the Bears. I hope they find someone good. Oh, more news. Jalen Sharp looked good in practice. Looked sharp in practice in return to practice 41 minutes ago. Yeah, side note, the Eagles are gonna I mean they're gonna have their three quarterbacks, Tanner McKee, Kenny Pickett, I mentioned earlier, and Jalen's gonna be okay. He's gonna be okay in that playoff game. Oh, we'll talk about playoffs in a second though. Jordan Love limited at practice. No, we'll talk about that. Talk about some Cowboy stuff. Cooper Rush is still he has to re-sign with the team. He had a 2-year deal. Now he has to re-sign, so he's hitting free agency. So I don't know if we're gonna let him. He wasn't in free agency for very long when we last time he signed a deal pretty quickly. So I don't know. Rush, he said, okay, let's see what Cooper Rush said. Thanks to everyone for an unforgettable year 8. Yeah, he's been with the Cowboys. He was with the Giants a little bit, practice squad, but we got him back. Jason Garrett reeled him over when he became the OC. He was like, I'm familiar with him. But he came back to the Cowboys pretty quickly. So that's him in the huddle. I mean, Cooper, you got to start some games. You can talk about that. What's your record now? What's your full record? I mean, winning percentage as a starter, it's pretty good for the Cowboys. Obviously, a small sample size. What 2022? You got 5 wins and 1 loss. That's not bad. Although you just can't beat the Eagles. Ah, you weren't terrible. You weren't a complete loss, and we're still our draft stock is number 12, where it was for a long time. So we're not blaming you. No one's mad at you. You're in the best case scenario. You're in the best situation. No one's really mad at you. You tried your best, and we still have a good draft spot. So um, it says 8 games started, 12 games played. I don't know if this is updated. I guess it is. He went 4-4. Okay, so he went 4-4. Oh, okay. So 2022, he was 4-1. He won 1 game in 21, so that would be 5-1. So in his career with the Cowboys as a starter, 9-5. That's still not terrible. Maybe we can get him. Maybe we can get him back cheap. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. But okay, yeah, it said in the article, Cooper Rush, he went 4-4 in his 8 starts. Uh, 187 out of 308, so 60.7% of his passes. Not bad. 1,844 yards, 12 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Okay. Okay. Well, that's not terrible. So he's a serviceable backup. I think he'll be back. He lost out on potentially earning $250,000 on the last day of the regular season because they decided to start Trey Lance. Yeah. I mean, mm, yeah. The incentive was playing 55% of the team's snaps. I gotcha. In 2024. So yeah, I guess that's something you put in the contract just in case. But Devontae Turpin named NFLPA Player Association All Pro kick returner. So he's a kick returner again, Pro Bowler. Um, for a second time in his career, he's been voted as a All Pro as a kick returner. So he's an All Pro kick returner, adding to his resume that already includes a second Pro Bowl nod. So let's look up Devontae Turpin. You'll you'll see that little asterisk, Pro Bowl asterisk. But he was the kickoff return yards leader in 2024. Very nice, and I'm sure it'll reflect that he's been named an All Pro, which is very good. Pro Bowl in 22 and 24 as a kick returner. So not last year. Interesting. We really need some help last year. But good job to Kevontae Turpin. He's been a bright spot. We can look up some of his stats because I know kick returner, but oh yeah, he's right here. But let's see receiving wise. Oh gosh, he has so many USFL stuff you gotta get through. Yeah, postseason hasn't done very much, but we're still trying to um excuse me, trying to see if he's good and all that stuff. We played in all 17 games in 22 and only got 1 reception. Yeah, but kick returns. I mean, he was a kick returner. So 508 yards in kick returns, 308 in punt returns. So less and less. And then this year, 301 yards and then 96 yards and a touchdown. So punt return touchdown. That was cool. That was cool to see. 3 touchdowns last year. 1 receiving touchdown this year. And okay, so now improving with touchdowns. Average 10.6 to 9.9. Getting he got 2 more receptions. Game started 1. I think that's right. Let's see. Turpin stats 2024. So let's see what his stats were. Let's see if Wikipedia is correct. 420 yards and receiving yards was 420 and two touchdowns. So I don't think Wikipedia is quite there. Receiving yards. Hmm. Yeah, Wikipedia is not up to date on everything. It has not added the 2024 stats. So he has over 300 yards for his career. So he's starting to get there. He's starting to get there, which is great. We need him. He had his best year 2024, returning a punt and kickoff back for a touchdown. First of his career in the regular season in such category. Yeah. I don't know if we'll keep him doing that or try to rotate him more. Probably try to get him back, work him in a little bit more. Be that wide receiver three. Colbert really stepped up to be the wide receiver two. That was really good when Brandon Cooks was out. He did well. He did well in the last game, against the Commanders. So that's really good. Malik Hooker reflects on the Cowboys season, getting back to the drawing board. Yeah, if we don't draft offense, we're drafting defense this year. I mean, it's going to be crazy. It would be nice if we had some offensive weapons. Some more, a wide receiver two, another lineman, stuff like that. Even stuff we don't need just to improve as much as we can. But our defense it was devastated by injuries by the Commanders, and it wasn't fun. So we're gonna have to work on that. Biggest takeaway, man, it's hard to say," said Hooker. The biggest takeaway from the season. I mean, because there's been so much adversity from injuries to changes and stuff like that this year. It's tough. Yeah, it's really tough. So yeah, I don't really know what to say, guys. It has been tough this season, and we can talk about the playoffs a little bit too. But man, let's see the playoffs. Who I think is gonna even do it? Chargers against the Texans. I don't know. Probably the Chargers. That's the only game the Chargers will win. But good job to Coach Harbaugh for getting that for him to win. I think they're going to do it. The Texans are beat up and they're not playing well, and it's just the reality of the situation. So Chargers will win, but lose the next matchup. Steelers Ravens. Steelers are caving. Take Justin Fields next year. Get Gunnar Helmer and a lineman. You'll be much better. And then get a quarterback next year if it just doesn't work out. Trade up to get a quarterback. Um, maybe Quinn Ewers will be ready by then. Maybe he'll enter the draft this year. I don't know. Maybe you can get him later round and then have him be a backup. Maybe you can try to draft your future. And I don't know. I don't know. But you have Justin Fields, let go of Russell Wilson, and then just see what you can do. But Ravens are going to win. Broncos, Bills. Bills are going to slaughter them, unfortunately. There are only a few teams that can really do stuff. And, of course, the more wins you have, the less competition you have early on. Packers, Eagles, that's going to be a legit good game. Packers are only 11-6, but they could do some real damage. Fortunately, Christian Watson is out. I mean, I'm not so anti Eagles because I'm a Cowboys fan or anti Packers. So Packers Eagles. I don't know. Eagles are gonna win, but it could be interesting. Commanders Bucks. Geez, I don't know. I would say Bucks, but Commanders could really do it. Commanders. You know what? Commanders get the win and represent the NFC East. Vikings, Rams. Man, I don't know. Like that could be the Rams could win. It's at their house because the Vikings did not win the North. The king of the North is the Detroit Lions. So Rams could definitely win it in a huge upset. In a huge upset, they could win it. So, oh man, Vikings. Gotta get to Vikings, but Rams are. Oh, they could go. They could win it. Everyone's healthy now, and that was their big thing. Like people weren't healthy. Anyway, those are a few of my thoughts. Uh, been 30 minutes, so I'm gonna do some cough drops, and I'm just gonna step off. But yeah, I just want to talk about that a little bit, and oh yeah, mm, and just talk about the head coaching vacancies, the Cowboys news, and the playoffs. So, mm, if there are no questions or comments or anything, uh, I'll say goodbye. Till next time, I'll stream on Saturday. Go Cowboys, of course. We didn't have a winning season. That's okay. And I'll see you guys next time.